Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Collection Expansion Extravaganza.
Yeah, look at all this cute stuff we bought.
I didn't even get to finish the intro.
I'm sorry.
She's so excited.
I'm sorry. Goofy! Okay.
Welcome to another episode of Collection Expansion Extravaganza, right here on ToyWorldOrder.com, with me, Duvall, and my plucky, perky, young, lovely wife, Carrie Duvall.
Okay! Goofy! Okay. You go ahead.
Why don't we start off with what Carrie likes, the cute stuff.
My stuff is always the first segment, so that way you can stop watching after that and go do whatever, because this is the best stuff ever. We found him at Goodwill in their stuffed animal section.
Yeah, in St. Louis, actually, we were out in that neck of the woods.
He was like this, and I pulled him out. I don't know why, I thought it was a teddy bear, and I just wanted to see what it was, and then I flipped him over, and I was like, oh!
That's a Fozzie.
He's so soft.
I think this is probably one of the newer Fozzies that you could get out of like a crane game. Kind of what he looks and feels like. The fact that he was like a crane game.
And he doesn't have like a Henson tag on him or anything.
Well, I mean, he's licensed. There is a trademark copyright Henson.
Namco.
Yeah. I'm guessing though it probably was before Disney's acquisition of the Muppets, because it says copyright Henson and not copyright Disney Henson.
Oh.
So I'm guessing that was probably. This was probably done way before the actual Disney bought out the Muppets.
Soft.
He is super soft.
Waka waka.
Yeah, and he's really well done too. He's a nice, very cool and very nice representation of Fozzie. Yeah. The hat's a little big, but I like his face, and his
mouth is kind of
it can open a little bit. Yeah, just a little bit. So
yeah.
He's pretty cool though. Yep, Carrie found him in a bin at Goodwill and was like, "Oh my God, what is that?" I'm like, "Well, I think that's Fozzie actually." So he's pretty neat.
Mickey here, whose pants don't want to stay up.
Yeah, this Mickey's actually we'll show you. We'll let you hear what he sounds like in a minute. But this we found at an antique mall recently while we were out kind of shopping around, and he is probably from the late '60s, early '70s. But
he's mooning me while I'm looking for a tag.
He's a play school.
So faded,
he's a play school Mickey, so I'm guessing he's probably early '80s. But a lot of these play school figures, of course, they talked. So you pull the string out and he'll talk, but the problem is, without me, which I may one day actually split the seam and pull the talk thing out to see if I can fix it, but this is what he sounds like right now. He said...
Say again? Okay.
The first thing he said was, "I love you very much." But
oh, I love you too.
Of course, now he just sounds like a squeaky mouse.
Yeah.
Problem with those is they can be fixed. Problem is the springs get undone, and there's a rubber band in there that helps it. That once it's gone, it just.
Well, you'll be able to fix it.
Yeah, maybe one day I'll split him open and see if I can't fix him, because he's pretty easy to split the seam open. But we found him. I think we paid.
It was hardly nothing.
I think it was like $5. He's a little dirty, but he's not too terrible. But it's a Mickey we didn't have, and it's something of that nature that talks. That's really kind of cool. So that was like, well, Carrie's like, well, we have to buy him.
We don't have to.
Well, we did that day. Let me tell you what, we had to buy him that day.
We got these neat things that we found.
These were pretty cool. These were found in, I don't remember what antique mall we found these in. Might have been one up near St. Louis we were at.
We were super happy when we saw these because we'd never seen them before.
These were done, these were Hallmark. You can buy these at Hallmark. These were done, this one was done in 70.
This is 81 at the bottom.
This one was 78. And basically you could punch them out, and they're movable, like little decorations. They move and their arms move and such. But we found Kermit and we found Piggy, which again...
We will not be opening these.
No. These will not be opened or be punched out, because I honestly believe these are too rare to find in this condition, let alone to find in any condition. So these are actually something that we will keep. It
says they're over 2 feet tall.
Yep. So he's, when they're all together, he's big. And Piggy features special attachments for like a birthday, or she comes with 2 fans.
Back here, she's got a birthday cake. And
Kermit does not have any attachments.
Oh, he doesn't need any. Look at him.
He's pretty cute. He is pretty cute. But yeah, these were really cool. We were really, really super happy to find these. I'd never seen these before. This one, of course, was ahead of my time before I started to remember things. This was a year after I was born. And Piggy, we never really went into Hallmark stores, so I would have never seen her anyway. But considering these were like $3.50 a piece, in today's marketplace, they're probably worth $30 a piece, just in this condition because of how, you know, how well preserved they are. But I think we paid...
Not very much. I don't remember what they were.
I think we paid $3 a piece for them, actually. We didn't pay hardly anything for them. So they were really cool. It was a really nice find. Next is actually something one of our fans sent to us, actually, a while back.
And I love it.
This thing is pretty cool. This was from, this was, what was the company? I gotta see that. It was Simba. I believe it is a German company.
Yeah, and these, like a bike, the Spielberger.
She's good.
Yeah.
These were only released overseas, and never saw them here, but it's pretty cool because...
Stop touching it.
Let me see him.
Mine.
Let me see him.
What do you want to do with him?
Here, take him out so we can show the people.
Do it. It's mine.
Pop him out of there. There we go. And this is actually cool because he's a soft, he's a flocked figure.
What?
Flocked.
I know, but I don't know what that is.
It's, you know how he's fuzzy?
Okay, I was thinking like
flocking.
felt.
Yeah, no, it's flocked.
Oh God, I don't want to mess with him.
No, you know, you're fine. He's, of course, it's a dressed Goofy doll. He's got pose, you know, articulation in his arms, his legs, his head can move left and right. Really cute though, and of course,
really so much,
no, but there were a number of characters that were available. The Goofy, Minnie, Mickey. There was Donald, Daisy, Grandma Duck, and Pluto. So there was a number of different characters in this Disney family that you could actually get. And of course, with Goofy being Carrie's favorite, fan was nice enough to send this to Carrie because, you know, he knew that it was Carrie's all-time favorite character, and it was something we didn't have. I mean, this is really unique.
No, we would never have. I didn't even know anything about these.
These are really, really unique. And really hard to find in the States, and he said he found it, I believe, he was at like one of his local thrift stores, and there it was, just sitting there, and he's like, oh, well, never seen that before, so he snatched it up, and big thanks for doing that, because it's pretty cool. It's something that I'm kind of happy is in our collection now, because again, it's something we've never seen, and something that we definitely do not have, so. I got some books for you. Of course, sticking with the Goofy theme.
We only bought this because Goofy's on there. It looks like these are the whole bunch of books in a series.
These were the Read and Grow series, and these were kind of the same thing. I think they still do them every once in a while.
It's just like sports Goofy.
But you could go into a grocery store like an Osco Drug or Kroger back in the day, and I know these are newer, but you'd go into like one of the grocery stores, and every week there'd be a new book you could buy there for like $1.99 or $2.99, and you would add to your library. This was along that kind of thing. But it's basically Goofy doing sports, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Read and Grow Library is what that's called. Next up, of course I bought this because it had Ariel on it, but this is Disney's Magic Artist Learn to Draw Princess. This is newer. This isn't something that's super old, but I love these Learn to Draw books because they're a lot of fun. As you can see, you can learn to draw Ariel there. I love these because they're really neat. I had a bunch of these when I was a kid. Could never do it. I can't draw worth a lick. I'm not good at it.
Oh, you're way better than I am.
But these are really unique in the fact that they give you a perfect idea of how the Disney artists.
And that's how to draw.
That's how to draw as a mermaid. How the Disney artists work and how their kind of guidelines to how the characters move, how their eyes should be. It's a really neat little book for kids, and it was something I was like, well, I should have that. It's about. I think about that at Goodwill. This next one's kind of cool. This is a vintage
Paint with Water.
Paint with Water book.
1988.
Yep, 88 was when Who Framed Roger Rabbit came out. And this is, it's unused. It is completely unpainted in. It's got some really cool artwork in there. Of course, the weasels. Really cool artwork. I love these. The colors appear like magic. You would take a wet paintbrush and just paint over them. And of course, the paint is on the page, and it would spread out in its outlines, and you would have this colored picture. Yeah,
just like on the cover.
Yeah, just like on the cover. it's very cool and very neat. Next one up is another Little Mermaid book. This was kind of along the same lines as the Goofy, the Storytime, Treasures Library.
Series.
Yeah, there was a series of books that you could buy, and each book was a different character.
This was one of the Ariel books you didn't have.
I did not have this Ariel book. I was like, I must have this Ariel book. So, of course, it was something I was like, well, I'm going to buy that. We're picking that up. That's going home. And last but not least is a really cool Star Wars, the original Star Wars, Episode 4, The New Hope. This was the visual storybook with some really cool, a lot of movie stills in here. All from the film. I believe this is one of the first prints of this book. We'll wait till Carrie can go back to the front here. But it tells you the entire story of the Star Wars film, the first film in the saga. And this would have been 1984, so it's actually copyright 78, and this would have been the 16th printing of this book. You know how I know that? Because you see how it starts at number 17? This would have been the 16th, and next would have been 17. Oh. So this was the 16th printing of this book since they...
Aren't you smarty pants?
I know my book print dates. What can I say? Pretty neat, though. I don't know how she got to hold all this stuff. And,
well, not now, because the dog is whining. Sit down. Everyone wants to be a star.
He has his fans.
You want to be the co-host? And I'll go upstairs and watch TV.
You do realize that he has fans, right?
He has like a fan.
He's got more than a fan. Don't you? You little butthole. Are you going to lay down up here?
You can co-host, and I'll go upstairs and watch TV.
I'm going to put Mickey down here.
Okay, what do we got next?
Well,
these guys.
We got some action figures. These are probably some of my greatest finds. A long story short, Dr. John Kent was staying with us a number of weeks before we recorded this. He went to Chicago C2E2. He went to King County with us. He stayed with Carrie and I. When he first got here, we were downstairs. He was looking at the collection. We were kind of talking about toy lines that were odd, unique. And I had mentioned Luco's over-the-top figures, which were based on the Sylvester Stallone film of the same name. And he was like, I had some of those figures. They're fun. They're not great, but they're fun. And I was like, I always wanted some, and I never had any. The next day, he and I go out garage sailing. I take him to the antique malls around here. We're in one of the antique malls. I, and Carrie are there. We're walking around. We're in the same booth that last episode I showed off that I bought the Rocks and Bugs and Things bug from. We're in that same booth, and he's looking at the case and he goes, "Is that an over-the-top figure?" And I look and I went, "Well, I'll be dang, it sure is." I was like, "How much is it?" I look, and I immediately ran and went and got the guy with the key to the case and had him unlock it and was like, "Take this up front." It was $4.50, and it was this awesome guy. It was, I believe his name is Bull. And looking at the, of course, this is something I'm never going to sell, really. Looking at how much this figure goes for on like eBay in the second market, there's like a $200 figure like this.
Yeah, and just fast forward a little bit to that weekend, they went to Chicago, as he mentioned, but left all of the toys that he had bought on the kitchen counter. And my rule is no toys upstairs. So I carried the stack down the stairs, and I knew how much this thing was worth because I was with them when they bought it. And as I'm coming down the stairs, something fell off the top of my stack, and it was him, and I just about lost it. I was like, "Oh, please do not let him be broke." He wasn't.
No, Carrie about had a cow though.
I was like, "Please don't let him be broke."
They've got pretty limited articulation. I mean, they can move. Their elbows move here, their head can move, their legs move. Cool thing here is that it actually has an action feature in the back by twisting this dial here, you would set them there was a little table you could buy, and you would set them both at the table, connect their hands, and then you would push the dial, and you could see who actually was going to be the winner of the arm wrestling match. I almost said thumb wrestling, and I'm like, that's not right at all. So Luco was it was kind of unique that they did this line. So I found him that week. The next weekend, Carrie and I are at the local flea market here, and we're walking around, and I stop and I look, and I just started laughing out loud. I was like, "Ha ha! I found Sylvester Stallone's figure from that same line from Over the Top
for $2.
For $2, just sitting on a table at the flea market."
And when you pointed to it, I knew exactly what it was because I know this guy.
Yeah, Carrie was like, "Oh my God, are you kidding me?"
God.
I was like, "Oh no, I am dead serious." Of course, he works a little better than Bull does. Their arms are supposed to move when you move it, and of course, with age, they kind of get a little.
I don't know. Well, Sylvester is like in his 70s.
That's true. But yeah, for a line that was done in '86 by Luco, who really never did action figures except for these, There was a whole slew of these. These are probably the only 2 that I will ever own.
You want the table, though.
I do want the table. If I could get the table for $20, because they sell them new on eBay, they're popping up all the time for like $20. If I could get a table for like $20 plus like $4, $5 shipping, I would do it just so I could pose these 2 with the table, because that's all I need. I just need these 2. But these figures, and it's funny because Dave Draper and I had a conversation about these, is that these figures are constantly loose or packaged. Some of the most expensive figures of this type that I've ever seen. That's like a $200 figure loose most times. He sells from anywhere from $50 to $175 loose. Packaged, he's gone for like $500. It's crazy how rare this line is and how much it's worth.
And the fact that you found both of them within
a week of each other
for less than $10
yes.
together.
Which I say, good toy karma always comes back around to you, and that is what good toy karma is all about, people. But these are really, really fantastic figures. Fantastically awful, but fantastic figures. Because that at least looks like Sylvester Stallone. That at least looks like the actor who played this character. They at least look like those characters, and they're really in really good shape for how old they are. I can't imagine, you know.
His arm is just like hanging there.
Well, yeah, it's just kind of, it's dangling there a little bit, but overall, I can't be happier. These are 2 of my best finds that I found in 2014, period. And I was super ecstatic. And the fact that I was laughing out loud with this one, and Carrie was like, shut up, just pay for it.
I know, I was like, just grab it, it's $2, don't say anything, don't tell her what it is, just take it and go before she realizes what she's selling.
And here, we can...
oh, jeez.
So yeah, you can connect their hands together there like that, and then turn the dial.
Alright.
Yeah.
Those are dumb.
You get the idea. They arm wrestle. They really are supposed to arm wrestle. But cool line. Next up is actually a very interesting line that no one ever gives any love to.
What is it?
This is a line. This was actually a Transformers subline. It was based on the book series and the Nickelodeon live-action series Animorphs. And there were a number of these characters they made because the human characters had powers that would allow them to morph into animals. So they made a bunch of these different characters.
What is it? A gorilla?
This is Cassie, and Cassie transforms. You could pull this thing here, and she turns her face into like a
wolf or
she turns into a wolf. And then you would transform her. You can kind of see her face there. Yeah, there's the wolf head. But yeah, she transforms into a wolf.
Now, why did you buy that?
Because I have a bunch of these actually.
Oh, you do?
I've been finding.
Point them out on the shelves.
They are on the Transformer shelf, on the very bottom shelf.
They're on the Transformer
shelf. Yeah, they're on the Transformer shelf because they're Transformers technically. But yeah, I've got a number of these, and I keep finding these, and no one gives any love to this line. But it's funny because a lot of the Transformer fans now are looking for these figures, which cracks me up. So, but Cassie's a wolf, which is pretty cool. And then these actually came from an auction here in town that Carrie and I go to quite a bit. It's the Patricia Doyle auction, and these were in a big lot of stuff that I didn't think I was going to win for what I won them for. They were in a lot with a GoBots Command Center and a number of other items, and I was like, well, let's go see what it goes for. I'll bid $10 and see what happens, and I won them for $10. But it was pretty interesting. I won all these Super GoBots here. So I've got Bug Bite, and he's got his box, but his box, of course, is bust on the bottom. The sticker on the front here is actually a pickup sticker. For this would have been one of like you would buy this through like Montgomery Ward's, and this was the sticker to help them identify what character it was without having to pick the box up. So I found Bug Bite, who transforms into a yellow beetle. He's pretty neat. I found Z-Mon, who, get him out of here, is pretty neat. He transforms into a Firebird. So we've got this neat little Firebird figure here. What's weird is Bug Bite came with a weapon, and some of them did, some of them didn't come with weapons. It was really weird how they decided that. But the box for Z-Mon is pretty cool. Of course, you could see it. You could open it. There was a little window here. You could see the character, and it shows you the transformation, as well as the back of the box tells you how to transform the figure. And then, last but not least, I got Defender, one of the later large-scale Super GoBots. And then he was missing his gun, and we went to a place near us in Pekin, Illinois called JR's Mini Mall, and made some new friends. And I actually was digging through a box of accessories, and lo and behold, what do I find? His gun. So I found Defender and his gun for you break it down. I probably paid $1 a piece for these guys, and the gun I paid like $1 for. So these are pretty cool though. This is another line that never gets any love from people is the GoBots line, and it's a shame because while they're not as cool as Transformers, there are some very unique and interesting designs on these characters. So pretty darn neat if you ask me. Well, I got a puzzle here, and we've got a couple of board games we'll take a look at. The first puzzle is a fun one for me. It's classic, it's vintage. There were a number of these. I have a number of these now, but it's a very cool Masters of the Universe puzzle showing He-Man and Skeletor battling in front of Castle Grayskull while more is going on behind them with Triclops and Ram Man and Zodak.
I didn't understand a word you just
Screech.
said.
But I did put this together. It's all there. It's a very beautiful puzzle when it's all put together. It's very gorgeous artwork. I love these old vintage puzzles. But my advice to anyone that buys these is if you're going to buy one of these and you're at some place and they allow you to open it, sit down on the ground or on a table, count all the pieces out, make sure they're all there.
Yeah, it's not like you're going to be counting forever. This one has 63 pieces in it, so it doesn't take
it's
a while
not like
to-
the pieces are big. I mean, here's the size.
Oh no!
Size of the pieces they're pretty big, so,
Yeah, so
you're not going to be counting very long. But I always count these puzzles,
Yeah.
which Carrie can tell you. I sit down on the ground and I count the pieces out, and if all the pieces are there, then I buy it. If it's missing a piece, I leave it. It's the only way to do it, because if you buy it missing a piece, it's pain.
unless you're only buying it because you like the box art,
and then you buy
guess
it.
That's worth
then if
it,
it's a
but-
buck or two, just buy it.
Yeah.
But a lot of times these are running me $5 because they're complete, so I've been picking those up. A couple of lunch boxes for you. This one's kind of neat. This one had the thermos. This one's based on a doll line from the 80s from Hasbro. The front of it, so the sticker's a little beat up, but it's not bad. It's Moon Dreamers. And I'm sure a lot of girls, older girls out there watching this probably remember Moon Dreamers. Carrie doesn't. I remember
I didn't
Moon
know
Dreamers.
what it was. I'd ask.
It's a Hasbro line from the 80s. Didn't last long. Surprise, surprise. Another one of those lines. But it lasts long enough to get a lunchbox, which is kind of cool. But I think we found this at... I think this was at an antique mall here in town near us. And it was funny because most of the lunchboxes they had were like ridiculous price, and this was like $3. And I was like, well, it has the thermos. I'm going to buy it even if the sticker's messed up. So, Moon Dreamers, very interesting, odd doll line. Look it up if you ever get a chance. This next one's really cool. This is one I wanted for a while. No thermos, but the thermoses are not hard to come by. It's a lunchbox that's hard to come by. And this is actually the metal lunchbox for the first Muppet movie, for Jim Henson's Muppet movie. It's in pretty good shape until you look at the top.
These are hard, but these old metal lunchboxes are hard to find. Like
They're getting
pristine.
harder and harder to find. So the top of it's a little rusted. It's not terrible, but the sides are really good. So you got Piggy on one side, you got Gonzo on one side.
And the way that we display it is just like that anyway, so no one's going to see the top.
No one's going to see the top. No thermos, but again, these are, these lunch boxes are getting harder and harder to find in any condition. They're getting rustier and rustier, nastier and nastier. But this is one that I'd wanted for a while now. We've got a couple of Muppet ones, and this one will join the ranks of those my Muppet lunch boxes. And this is really cool. I was really happy to find this after a long, long search. A couple of board games before we wrap this episode up. This one's fun. This one is actually, of course, you've learned on this show that I've got this great affinity towards 3D board games. I love 3D board games. I love them to death. And this actually we found at our local...
Salvation Army?
No, it was Salvation Army we found this. Salvation Army's kind of been the fun place to go to for us every 3 or 4 months because we find stuff, because there's always something there that we're like, oh, weird. And this is actually the Lion King 3D board game. And it's a really neat, really cool game. It's got a lot of neat features to it. I'm not going to take it out. You'll see a picture of it. But it's got a lot of cool stuff with Pride Rock. And it's got firing bug launchers. It's got the neat little spinner. It's got a lot of cool stuff like falling rocks. A lot to this 3D board game, which is pretty unique. I wanted this. We had seen it once before, and it was incomplete. And I passed on it because I'm like, I'm not buying it if it's not all there. And this one was complete. We actually sat down, even though it had a tag on it that said complete. We opened it up and looked through it. Always do that. If it says complete, always look through it because you never know. But it was complete, and we paid, I think, $2.50 for it. So can't beat that for a game that's eventually going to end up on board. And that should be a very, very fun episode because I already have ideas for that episode. It should be a lot of fun. It involves Puppet Duval and recreations of things. It's going to be funny. This next one was something else we found at our friend JR's Mini Mall. And it was cool, and it was complete. And it wasn't a bad price. It was $10, a little more than we usually spend for games, but I couldn't really pass it up because it's not very often we see this. But it's a game based on the classic film Gremlins. It's the Gremlins game. And it's a very simple...
I love him.
And Carrie loves Gizmo.
I love Gizmo.
She loves
He's
Gizmo.
adorable.
It's pretty cool because the game's pretty easy to play. There's like little backpack cards. You have Gizmo that you can turn into, the Gizmo can turn into gremlins. There's a spinner. There's pieces. It's a really pretty simple game to play. And it was all there. We kind of looked through it, of course, and it was all there. And we bought it, and I couldn't be happier. This will be another fun one that shows up on board, but I don't think we can actually get Puppet Duvall wet without him ruining. But fun things for this too. But this should be really cool. I was really happy to actually Carrie found this, and she was like, "You have to buy this," and I was like, "Okay." And mostly just because it had Gizmo on it, and she loves the heck out of some Gizmo. Mostly because it reminds her of this little guy.
Who's being so good, by the way.
Now he is. Now
he's just sitting here watching you.
He just wanted to sit on the table, didn't you, Booker?
Just wants to listen to you talk.
No. And then, another long story short, as we were leaving JR's Mini Mall, we were paying for this. We had a couple of things. And the gentleman that runs it actually said, "You guys like board games?" I'm like, "Well, yeah." I'm like, I do a show. I have a huge collection of board games. It's kind of what we look for now when we go out. And he goes, "I got a whole bunch of them in the back." And I was like, "Can I see them?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, sure."
Oh, good.
So we go back there.
We almost got out of here.
We go back there. We start taking a look. Most of what he had, I had, but the one that he had that I didn't actually have was this very interesting one from Pressman called Jumpin' Monkeys. And Jumpin' Monkeys was 91, so it was early 90s.
Yeah.
But it's odd enough to feature on board because it's probably a game not a lot of people remember fondly, and if they do remember it, it's a fleeting memory to where they see this and go, "I remember Jumping Monkeys. I had Jumping Monkeys." Pretty neat game. It's basically, you got a bunch of bananas, you got monkeys on these little launchers, and then you try to launch them onto the tree and get, I believe the goal of the game is to get all of your monkeys on the tree. So it's pretty interesting.
Player to get all 4 monkeys into the tree wins the bananas.
So, really simple game, really easy, but 3D environment, it's got launching things, and it's a game called Jumpin' Monkeys, for gosh sakes. I had to have it. So, there you go, guys. There's a look at some of the stuff this episode, what we found. We'll be back real soon with an all-new episode right here on ToyWorldOrder.com. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. Go to youtube.com/ToyWorldOrder and hit subscribe. It helps us out greatly. And also make sure to catch up on everything that we're doing with board games. Go to youtube.com/boardtheshow and hit the subscribe button. Hit the subscribe button to check out all the crazy antics with myself, Pixel Dan, Puppet Duvall, and all of our guests, including Carrie, Dave Draper. Lots of people show up on the show from time to time, and they do crazy things, so it's pretty entertaining. Make sure you check that out, gang, and we'll be back right here with an all-new episode real soon, so make sure you tune in for that. And until next time, gang, keep digging, because you never know what you'll find. Take care.